अब आ रही है क्या, चेक करो.
Just a second, sir.
अभी वो सीन चेंज नहीं हुआ, डेस्कटॉप पर ही ऑन किया मैंने.
मैंने म्यूट किया है अभी अपने आप को. क्या करूं?
वेट डोंट रन. वो रेडी हो जाएगा ना, मैं सीन लगा दूंगा.
ब्रो शक्ल देख रहे हैं उसकी, बहुत ही गंदा बन के बैठा है. ब्रो म्यूट हो.
Check the audio. अब आएगा.
Yeah. So hello everyone. Hello Saurabh.
Hello, sir. Hi, Stan.
Yeah. So coming up with an idea is one thing, but its implementation is the real key to success. The world is full of diamonds and gems, and we have one of them today with us to build this Startup Paathshaala. With this, I would like to give my heartiest welcome to our guest speaker, Mr. Saurabh Mangrulkar, the founder and CEO of EventBeep, a Shark Tank contestant at a TedEx talker. A very good evening to Saurabh, sir. So today, I, Shita Mehra, would like to welcome you on behalf of Dream Merchants VIT. We appreciate you for extending this favor in contributing to our event Start-Up Paathshaala, which aims not only at developing entrepreneurship skills but also at developing startup. Besides that, I would also like to present our heartiest welcome to all my fellow mates who have joined this Paathshaala from several different colleges to learn more about this challenging startup process and to develop worthy entrepreneurship skills. So, starting with the event, I would firstly like you all to introduce to our speaker Saurabh's mind-blogging startup named EventBeep, one of the best next-generation virtual community platform. This platform connects one college students to another. It helps in exploring new events across all colleges, provides students with a personal feed, and also a credit system which encourages students to complete their day-to-day course and to improve more in their college life. So, sir, let's begin with our first question. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Ishita.
Yeah. So, the first question is like, what was the idea of setting a startup? It always excited me, so I used to read a lot of newspapers and articles about startups. One thing that I read in most of the articles was a startup is nothing but solution of some kind of problem. So what was the problem or difficulty did you face in your college life that you came up with such a great idea of UNB?
Yeah, so the basic idea was, I think it was quite evident that the whole education system is quite messed up. So I mean, before college, I started my own startup even before college, which was more into events organizing. And the moment I got into college, I realized everything is just donkey work. I just need to copy down assignments. And I had seen the practical life. I had seen life outside college. So I thought, why are students wasting their time in college? It's my job to get them out of classrooms and experience the real world. So that was the basic idea of why I started out with event.
Hmm. I'm sure that must be very striving, but indeed, every success journey is incomplete without a problem. And this is how this great event Beep has launched up. So next, how did you communicated with the colleges to make them into under your college startup named EventBeep? What was your strategies?
So strategy, I think to start off with, we initially went to colleges on foot. We actually spoke to the directors, sat in front of offices of hundreds of colleges, and we started understanding what colleges really want. And that's when we strike at how can we help colleges. So the strategy was always a top-down management approach. We directly spoke to the directors or seniors of a college, and then the process was easier.
Yeah, pretty much sure. Well, that was interesting and motivating too. Yeah, so I heard that you started your business in your 15 to 16 age. Yeah, is it? Yeah, I know that's true. And so,
Yeah.
how did it contributed in your EventBeep startup and in your life? What was its role that you were able to pay your college fees to?
Yeah, it gave a great insight. One of so I think when I was 14, 15 years old itself, I managed a team of about 15 friends as such, not
Oh,
managed a team. I worked with people. So I realized team management really early on, and that was a time when nobody was getting paid, obviously, but they were working out of enthusiasm. So that's one of the biggest learning that I had, to how we can arouse enthusiasm in the students. So that's one of the biggest learning that I had.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We are odd after hearing this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the efforts and the hard work that you did at a very young age, it's really applauding from all of us, from this younger generation. Yeah, so my next question is like in India, it's still not acceptable that uh, leaving a job is so suitable than starting a startup. Like, so what were the negative thoughts or second opinions you had while preparing for this startup, for striving for this? How was your opinion? How were the second opinions that it affected you or not?
So I think initially parents were like, focus on studies. Why are you wasting time? Do a job, get experience for 3 4 years, and then start a startup was the ideal thing that was really told by my parents. But when I started getting revenues pretty fast with the first startup itself. So money started flowing into the house. So
Mm-hmm.
looking at money, they were like, okay, he's on to something.
Uh,
And second biggest thing happened was I was featured in a lot of newspapers. So a lot of parents, relatives, they started appreciating what I'm doing. So I think that was a turning point. But I think this was a situation back then. I think 3 to 4 years down the line. Now, especially with Shark Tank, parents are actually looking forward students to starting their own startup. So yesterday in my society itself, parents were like, when my kid wants to start a startup, I'll get him to talk to you. So I think we're now looking forward students, kids actually starting up as a career option rather than something out of the blue.
mm. So, what was your age when you featured first time in the newspaper?
I was 15 years old.
Seriously, that's really commendable, Saurabh. I really appreciate that.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks. I mean,
that's
again,
really nice.
something, yeah, I mean, it happened out of nowhere. The first time I was featured was someone met with an accident on the road,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody stopped basically. And I just couldn't help it but stopped, helped that person out. And that's when I think a reporter came in looking
I'm
at,
sure.
what
Really
that was.
commendable, really. Yeah, so coming from the past to the present, as we all know, you are a well-known Shark Tank contestant, and the like most secure thing is like who secured a wonderful investment from 3 out of 5 sharks. It's really commendable, and firstly, congratulations to you for this commendable achievement. And like, what was the thing which you included in your pitch that impressed all of the sharks?
So the pitch that was shown on the TV was 10 minutes. The
Mm-hmm.
pitch that we actually had on the set was almost 1.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not just the pitch as itself, but a good amount of 45 minutes of back-to-back question and answers.
Huh.
That was one. But what really worked was, I think the problem was genuine. The college education system is really broken and it needs a new makeover. So that was something which everyone believed in, and they sort of thought of betting
Yeah. So, what were the main points which you would like to share with us to include in the pitch that might be helpful for an investment by the startup founder, new startup founder?
in. Right. Yeah, definitely. So I think first basic most thing I would like to mention while pitching is simplicity. You might know a lot of things which the investors won't know. So I mean, how we related IIT versus tier one college, हर college बनेगा IIT. So
Yeah, yeah.
the logic there was a simplicity more than making it confusing. We could have used terms like democratizing education, things like that. But the basic most logic is simplicity. They should really connect with what the problem is. So that's number one. Number two is be honest about what stage you're at in the company and your vision. So yeah, I think these are a couple of points again. It depends on the stage of the company, what you should pitch and how you should pitch. But my two, three takeaways would be one, keep it very simple, keep it very clear. And third, show them the vision, what it could go. So
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
key basic points that you need to keep
Absolutely.
in mind.
I'm sure these points can prove to be a gem for our younger generation and the people who are striving for being an entrepreneur. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your reaction when you were offered such a great investment by them?
So I mean, inside I was really happy, but knowing, from my past experiences, I had pitched to more than 100 investors by the time we came on Shark Tank.
Yes, yes.
I, I tried not to express myself because it sets a different image altogether. So, although I mean inside I was bursting out of joy, but on camera I was like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
a poker face is what I had. But yeah, I think internally you're the happiest. I'm sorry, I lost your question. I think there was a problem with my internet.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, I was asking that was there any off camera interaction with the sharks which you wanted to share with us?
Yeah, a lot of off-camera interactions. I think the biggest one that I had was so. I think once we went off the screen, right from the stage, discussed the offers given by three sharks,
Mm-hmm.
and these were individual offers by all the three sharks,
Mm.
and we had to either reject their offers, accept the offers, or come up with a counter offer. So
Yeah.
what typically happened was one of my co-founders, Raki, she quietly mentioned that say a counter offer, counter offer. So when we were sort of walking in, all the sharks heard it,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, we get it. It's a counter offer, no problem. Come here." So there were a lot of off-screen moments that were really funny and friendly, but which weren't shown on the TV.
Yeah, we hope that we may also be able to see that the fun sides of the sharks and you guys too.
Yeah, we hope to get a copy of the whole episode, but
Yeah,
that's not possible.
it's not possible exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so was there any advice which sharks gave you off camera which helped in your startup, which applied you in your life or something else?
A lot of advices. One is major advice was we had two models wherein one we go to colleges on ground
Yeah.
one by one, and
Mm-hmm.
second is a community which grows by itself like a social network like Facebook. So the biggest advice was colleges would be a really tough market to be in, and it'll be really difficult for you to scale fast. So the advice that they sort of presented was it's a tough market. Focus more on the online community. Colleges would take sort of time. So
Yeah.
maybe don't go to colleges. Scale with the community first.
Yeah. So this was the main advice the sharks gave you, right? And it
There
helped you
were
a
a
lot.
lot of advices. There were more than I think five, six advice. I think it was like a very long conversation with a lot of help.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that big.
Yeah. Great to hear that from you, Saurabh. Personally, that maybe. Yeah. And the last one. Yeah. So you are such an inspiration for this younger generation, and which aims to have their own startup and just like a role model. Yeah. So is there any learnings or any type of motto which you want to share with us, which you learned from your startup journey or any other process which you had in your startup?
Yeah, I mean, I lot of learnings, but as a young college student, one biggest advice I would give is everyone should start up for
Mm-hmm.
sure. If not, I mean, don't do anything, don't do internship job, but I would highly recommend someone to start a startup. Even if they want to go for a job after college, that's okay, but have that experience of starting up
Yeah.
in college itself. It's a really amazing journey and it pays off in the long term. Second, it's really hard. I mean, it's harder than how hard you think it's hard. So I think it's that hard to actually nail a startup
Yeah.
because you feel that everything looks glittery, but you often see companies who have just been successful. For example, you maybe saw Amazon, Flipkart,
Mm-hmm.
Ola, Uber when they were actually popular. You
Yeah.
don't know the 10, 15 years of hard work that has gone into before they being shown to you. Similarly, I think EventBeep you saw now, but it was there around for last 3 to 4 years. So there's a lot of hard work that is done.
Yeah.
So I think it's not like a easy job, but I think you need to be happy while doing all of that. So
Yeah.
these are two advices. One is start a startup, and second is just understand it's really hard and demanding.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to share any backstory related to your startup, or the story which is a small story maybe which inspired you for doing this startup, which made you interacted with it?
Which made me interact
Yeah.
with whom?
Which made you interacted with this startup journey, this entrepreneurship skills?
Backstory in the sense, so you want about my startup or like a funny story? So I'll share both maybe. One, I think my parents were into business. My dad was into construction, mom was into interior, so that gave me a good insights early on about
Mm-hmm.
business, talking to employees, people. So I was into that culture altogether. So I always thought that I want to build a business no matter what. So that was always on my mind. And I read a lot of books. I listened to some audiobooks when I was a very average student when I was in 9th, 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Typical people used to pull my legs and actually make fun of me. And I was very introvert. I feared even talking to my parents. So, but then I got hold of these audiobooks which told that nobody's better than you, nobody's smarter than you. Uh, if you want to become a Bill Gates or a Mark Zuckerberg, just work as hard as they did, do everything that they did, and you can be them next. So that made me inspired. Oh, I can do something. So that's what made me understand. From then on, it was all creator mode. I never thought I'll maybe do a job or work under someone. It was always like I'll be the creator. I'll be the one who will be doing things and creating things
Yeah.
rather than consume
Sure.
things.
It's really nice. So, as you talked about the audiobooks and the other books, would you like to share any type of book or any name which helps us in doing the startup?
Yeah, definitely. So I think biggest learning that I got was people don't have goals.
Yeah.
Okay, so for
Mm-hmm.
example, everyone around you will have. Everyone thinks that I'll have a good car. I'll also start a startup. I'll also have an amazing house. I'll have a great life.
Yeah,
So it's not just you; it's everyone around you. Everyone thinks so. Even a villager or a farmer or a beggar thinks that I'll have a great life. But those are all aspirations. Those are just wishes. It's
yeah,
not goal. So I think one thing that you need to understand is you need to convert those aspirations into goals. How can you do it? Take a notebook, write down 10 goals that you have for your life. You
yeah.
actually want to achieve it.
That
The
really
moment
helps.
you,
I'm sure.
yeah.
That really.
So the moment you turn those thoughts to actual write
Hmm.
the goals, they become into concrete blueprint. That's one thing that you should do immediately,
Yeah.
which is writing them down. It makes things much clearer in life.
Yeah, yeah. I myself, as a student, and my colleagues also do the same thing. This
Oh,
also,
amazing.
yeah, this also
That's
ensures
great.
us to clear our goals.
Correct. That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Good to hear this.
Yeah, so talking about your businesses, your childhood story, and all your backgrounds, I have still some curiosity about your business. Like, can you please list up the types of businesses you did in your college life, or in your 15 to 16 age?
Yeah, I did a lot. So initially, I started with a magazine. So I read this book from Richard Branson, wherein he founder of Virgin Group.
Hmm.
So he said that he started a magazine in his college, which was a print magazine for college specifically. So I thought, why not? Let's do it. So I started our own magazine, did everything. We made posters, we made sponsors, advertisers. It was an amazing experience. We went to the principal saying that we want to roll out our magazine. The moment we said it, he said, no need to do anything of this. Go to the class, exams are nearing in, study. We won't allow you to do anything. That was a big disappointment. So, but then post that, I think we also had a gifting startup.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my friends' boyfriend, she made like a really good DIY, kit for her boyfriend, and it was really amazing. It was like a huge book with a lot of arts and craft,
Mm-hmm.
and we thought, it's like a really good. That guy was really happy. We thought let's do do it for all the other girlfriends and boyfriends. So we started like gifting startup when we were in college. We had customers and we didn't have time, so couldn't fulfill that. So that was another one. Another one was we actually did events. We organized events for students.
Nice.
Counter Strike tournaments, football tournaments, cricket, tennis tournaments. Yeah.
Oh.
Those were some of it that we did.
Okay, so like from college life also you have played the role of event coordinator too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually organized all the events more than a coordinator. So
Oh.
I didn't associate with college.
Uh-huh.
I did it out of college. So as
Nice. That's really nice. It's for me personally also. It's very aspiring. It always have been a, urge to meet you personally and talking to you like this. It's really an honor for me. Yeah.
we're glad to
Yeah.
know that.
You know, we are on YouTube Live and we are doing great on that. And kudos to
Okay.
that.
We-
It's just because of you and our team that we are doing this great.
No, it's all because of your team.
No,
I,
no, that's not possible. Yeah. So, any other type of story or any key points which you want to give to us?
lot of key points, lot of learnings. Maybe one funny story. So as a college student, you don't have money.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can, especially when you're starting up, you have no money, no revenue. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a really first 2 3 years hard because parents don't pay much. They're just like day-to-day expenses. So one funny thing that I realized was, so when we were out of house
Mm-hmm.
working on our startup, but in college,
Mm-hmm.
not attending college, we didn't have any money to eat or go out. So that time Uber Eats was really popular. So Uber Eats was an app just like Zomato,
Oh.
and these guys used to offer 60 70% discount on food.
Okay.
And on top of that, if any of your food is damaged, they would, even if the packaging is damaged, they would return the whole money plus double of what the food costed.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually, even if there was a scratch on the packaging, we used to click a photo and get the entire amount. We did that for almost 2 months. So
Oh.
2 months of our food was free, just because of Uber Eats, and then it shut down the company.
Oh.
So we think that we were the biggest reason for that. Yeah, that typically was a
Mm-hmm.
funny story.
Yeah. So as we also see that you have two partners, your best of the friends, yeah,
Mhm.
the co-partners of the company. So what do you want to share their story, their role in your upgradation?
Great. I mean, they have been great people. The biggest thing that they had was they were really good as a person,
Yeah.
and they also started their own startups in their college days. So they weren't necessarily friends. We became friends when we joined hands. That was
Mm.
the whole idea. I mean, they had their own startups. We met at events, and we
Okay.
thought, why not work together on this?
Yeah.
So that's how I think, in terms of them, it never felt work. For the last 3 years, we were always happy, laughing, having crazy times. Not even one day it felt like nahi yaar nahi karna hai. So it was always fun, and that you need to have those people around so that work feels
Mm.
really fun.
It shows the correct bonding, how to have the good bonding to make a startup work like this.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And is there any type of any startup key points? Yeah, for
Startup points.
entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would just, encourage one thing.
Hmm.
So, as a process in startup, number one, you'll have an idea. Everyone has an idea.
Mm-hmm.
You will feel ki, my idea is out of the blue. Never will it happen that your idea is different. There are so many people, there are so many initiatives and ideas. There's a very good possibility that your idea has already been tried and tested. If you're not seeing it, there are two possible things. One is it's being worked somewhere that you can't find, or second,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
it's not feasible. The
Yeah.
idea is not feasible. So don't get too much into idea phase. I would recommend, even if you have a small idea which is not really different, I would recommend just start it. Once you start it, you'll realize, oh shit, this doesn't work. Why not we do this? So same thing happened with us. We started with an events platform,
Mm-hmm.
college events platform.
Yeah.
and it was like a we thought ki there is no event ticketing platform. Slowly we saw Book My Show, Insider, hundreds of different platforms we could see, which we didn't see before. And with that, our idea started changing and shaping up really well.
Yeah,
So I would recommend don't hold back because your idea is not very different or nobody has done it before. Start doing it, start on ground, take some experience. You will need to modify it as you grow. So that's one in terms of idea and starting up that I would recommend.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the pitchers idea, what can be the key points which can be included in exploring about the pitches giving to the funders and the investors?
So my suggestion when you're looking to raise investment, there are two ways to go about it. So now there are funds and VCs and investors who are focusing more on college students as who have started up.
Yeah,
So there are two ways to look at it. If you're not an IIT and if you're not a BITS person, it's really difficult to raise funds when you're in college itself. If you're not from a tier one college, so it becomes really difficult. But so there are 3 to 4 different VCs, campus fund, your college fund. So these are VC funds who typically invest in students who are starting up. So that's a good thing. Start applying there. Second, when you want to pitch, I think it's more about your background. It's more about what kind of person you are. Are you a kind of person who is just creating, who's just trying different experiments, who just can't be rested?
yeah,
Who
exactly.
just can't rest at all,
Hmm.
who's always onto something, building things. So that's the kind of person that you need to be because you can't fake yourself to investors. They would know from your tone what words you're using, what is your experience. So unless and until you don't have that kind of experience, it's very difficult for investors to believe you or think that you will be the one who will do amazing. So one thing that they really see because you're a college student, you don't have any job experience or anything, they will see your background. Is maybe Ashita someone who has topped her college? Is she someone who has been best in her sports? These are things that they'll see.
Hmm.
If not, then your knowledge about startup. How much do you know? What business model work?
Yeah,
Your knowledge that counts.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm sure that would be commendable and the appreciable too. Yeah, so as for me, like I'm also thinking to enter into the phase of having a startup. So like like me, other similar students, my colleagues also want to do this. So what's your advice? What should be the starting point? What should be the main focus point which help us in bringing this up? What should be the
When you have an
origin?
idea, and
Yeah.
yeah, so when you have an idea and you want to take it to a startup,
Mhm.
there are two advices that I have. One, don't so typically any product, any idea that you have, there are two versions to it. One is a perfect version. Let's suppose you want to build a car, you'll go for 2 years and build that car.
Mhm.
Let's suppose you want to build an app or a website. You will go to a developer, ask him to build the complete website. It'll take 6 months for you to build it and develop it. That's one. That's one way to go about it. Never go that way.
Okay.
Never go into full app development, product development, complete product development. Try the Jugaad way, which is the second approach. What it means is fake a website. There are a lot of website builders onto the uh, internet right now. You can build a website in 5 minutes. You can build a demo app file in 5 minutes. So go for those ways. Go take that app. If you students are your market or any customer is your market,
Yes,
go
yes.
to those people, show them the screens that this is something that we have built. It will give you internship. It will give you something, whatever the product idea is,
Yes,
and
yes.
ask them to pay for it. Tell them that this is already ready. 10 hundreds of customers are already using it. What this app does is it gives you rewards, or it gives you maybe any book or so, whatever the idea is, and ask them to pay for it. If they actually end up paying, they're like, yeah, that's really cool. I would love to pay or subscribe for it. That's a good validation of your product. My recommendation would be go like this with hundreds of customers. If maybe 60 people are saying yes,
Yeah.
I'm ready to pay it. Take some amount from them. maybe 10 rupees, 50 rupees, and start building a mailing list or a wait list, which is like early bird program. If you
Okay.
want this product,
Hmm.
join the wait list. And once you have, let's say, thousands of such people who are ready to pay for your product, you haven't built the product yet. You
Hmm.
just have a concept or an idea.
Hmm.
Now this is the best time to go to investors, saying that, see, I have 1,000 people waiting in line to try this product. They have paid 10 rupees, 50 rupees to try this product. So it's ready. You just invest money in us. We will put this app, we'll put it on the app, develop it, and then scale it to thousands of users. So that's the way to go about it. So, this will take 1 month for you to do.
Hmm.
If you build a product, it will take 1 year for you to do the same thing that you're doing. So try the smart way. Show maybe a email list or a waiting list or a wait list or something that you can build, and then go to investors saying that there's already interest. That's a good way to start with an idea and build a product.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much, Saurabh. It will prove to be boon for me and my colleagues.
Oh, glad that you.
Yeah, as we know, yesterday a news came that season 2 of Shark Tank is also launching, and
Correct.
most of my colleagues and the college students are also participating in that. So, what your
Awesome.
advice? What should be the key points which should be stated? What you want to give the message to them?
What you need to understand is, as much as it's a pitching contest, it's more of an entertainment and reality show. So make sure you hit the emotional part also right. The application process, the first application process,
Yeah.
these guys need to understand that you're the best person around you. I mean, let's suppose you are a person in a class of 100 students.
Hmm.
You are the one who's much different than all the other 100 students. So if you can't get that differentiation in the application, it's very difficult for you to get selected into the next rounds. Because I'll tell you, 2 lakh, 1 lakh students, people would sort of apply. They are going to look at two things. One, either
Hmm.
you are an amazing person, or the startup that you have
Yeah. Exactly.
has revenue, has traction, has people who are already using it. If both of these things are not there, you'll not get shortlisted for the next rounds.
Okay.
So
Okay.
one of those things have to be touched.
Cool. Cool. That may be very appreciating for you to answer these and giving these messages, the inspiring and motivating to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Being
In
a
fact,
good
we are
one.
also coming up with a program which will help
Hmm.
students to apply for Shark Tank.
Oh,
And I think the next week we would launch this program as well.
you will not be surprised if I say that me and other college students also use your EventBeep app and having
Oh,
700 credit coins.
oh, great, great. Did
This,
you redeem something yet?
yeah, this really helped me a lot in my college life, and yeah.
Oh,
I also heard from other college students too that it proved to be a boon for all of us.
great, great. Good to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, so these were the questions, Saurabh. Thank you for asking. Thank you for answering that. Yeah. Yeah, so we will be having now 5 minutes YouTube live chat, and the audience wants to ask questions from you. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so the first question is how did you came up with the name EventBeep? Was
So when
any
we,
backstory related to that?
yeah, so I mean, when we started, it was an events platform which was
Mm-hmm.
focused on giving notifications when an event comes. So that's why we tried with various aspects. So event beep is like whenever an event comes, you get a beep on your phone. That
Okay.
was the concept then with event beep. But yeah, I think it's difficult to pronounce. It was really difficult for people to pronounce
Mm-hmm.
before. Now it's become a brand, so people really recall that. So
Yeah.
and the domain.com was available, so that's how we selected the name.
Yeah. I don't think that anyone has ever thought of the origin of this name.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
we tried out 200 names,
hmm.
wrote it down, and then saw which domain has .com. So when we had a .com, so that's why we thought of
Yeah,
let's go ahead.
yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, and the second question is like, what is the time management? How it played role in
Time
your
management.
startup? Yeah, time management. How did you manage it doing your studied also and maintaining your startup, your businesses? What was the role? How did you divided your time?
So I mean, college wise, I have one tip: don't attend college. Was my biggest tip. So again, our college had a 75% attendance benchmark. You don't attend it, you're not allowed to sit for exams.
Yes.
But my attendance was 0.75%, so I didn't attend college at all,
Yeah.
and
We
it
can
was
see it
basic.
clearly now.
Yeah. So I didn't attend college. I mean, just before 7 days of before exam, I shut down my startup activities and just focused on studies. So I studied when I wanted to study, was supposed to study. That there also I got distinction because 7 days before exam I was just studying without any thoughts in mind. So that was one. But talking about time management, I mean basics. I wake up early, 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Get more time. Again, I'm awake until 12, 1 o'clock at night. So again, more time to work on startup ideas and things like that. So that's basically, that doesn't mean I was like completely startup. I had a lot of fun. Played everything from PUBG, Counter Strike, every game possible to actually long drives with friends, Goa
Yeah.
trips, Manali trips, everything. So it was fun plus startup. Yeah,
Great, great.
made that.
And yeah, we have one more question. How were you able to pick up your co-founders? That's the most challenging part I feel of this question.
Yeah. So I think I have really good tips on that front. So you need to understand two aspects. This co-founder's journey is going to be a really long one. And now, if you're setting your foot into startups, you need to realize that 5 to 6 years of your life have
Yeah.
gone, and it'll be completely dedicated towards the startup before you see any success. And it is going to be hard. Once now, while selecting co-founders, you need to look at things.
Hmm.
One is character, how good this person is in terms of as a human. Leave alone skills, leave alone other aspects. That does he know coding, does he know designing. It He might lack, or he or she might lack in those things. But
Hmm.
look at, in pressure, does this person respects me? In pressure, does this person really easy to work with, or I find really happy working with him. So the basic quality is character, because you can't build a character, you can't learn a character.
Yeah.
It's there from your start, as you are raised as a person. So maybe getting angry, disrespecting, things like that. It becomes really tough to work with someone who's like that. So one thing that you should look for is he or she a good human being. Second thing, look for people who complement your skills. Um, Basic thing that you need to understand is this person hardworking? Will he work the long hours? Is he self motivated? Does he need pushing? Or does he gets things done? If you tell him one thing, he'll come with that solution. If that's the kind of people, maybe they could be the best co-founders. Don't go for friends just because you really like your friends. Really look for these top two qualities. If they are present in them, I think
Mm-hmm.
go for it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. So the other questions which come. Oh my God, there are so many questions. Okay. So two more questions, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
As you got so good your co-founders, as we all know. So talking about them, what are the learnings of, as we all know that we learn things from one another in our college life and in our life too. So what are the learnings you learned from your co-founders, from your partners in the personal life and professional life, which helped you focusing on this more?
I think they were really supportive. There were moments where I was broken, and there are moments that we are disheartened by a lot of shortcomings. I
Yeah.
think they backed me up. So similar was the case. There are instances when you feel demotivated, you feel that we have
Yes.
lost everything, but they are
Yeah.
like, no, let's do it. So that sort of encouragement and support that is there, that was really good. Second is, I think, respect. There was this sense of respect between all three of us. Nobody really disrespected in terms of you can't do this, or you have no skill sets or things like that. um, we maintained that dignity and respect. We never found each other criticizing each other that because of you this happened or because of you that happened. So these are, I think, really good things that we saw, and that's something that you need to be wary of once you're selecting a co-founder as well.
Yes, your bonding we have seen on this startup. Yeah,
Yeah,
Shark Tank. It has been, it is for us. It's a lesson of friendship. It's a lesson of professional life, how it should be separated from personal and professional. That's the main important
right,
thing. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so that's it, Saurav. Thank you for actively participating in this. Thank you for giving your precious time to us. Thank you for appreciating and coordinating with us. Yeah.
Thank you, Ishita and Dream Merchants team for inviting me. It was a pleasure, supporting people, and thank you for appreciating so much.
It's
So
our honor.
thanks a
It's
lot.
a really honor. Thank you so much. Now, from my club's Dream Merchants VIT behalf, I would like to say my Vice Chairperson Shivam Prakash a vote of thanks for your presence.
So, hi everyone, this is Shivam Prakash, Vice Chairperson Dream Merchants VIT. I would like to extend our thanks to Mr. Saurabh for coming here and answering the questions of our audience. It was really great interacting with you, and undoubtedly, we all learned a lot of things from you regarding startup, its challenges, the key to success, and the entrepreneurship.
I think there's some
Yeah, I think we got stuck.
yeah, it's some internet issue, I guess.
No problem. I think it's okay.
It's
Formalities. I have.
Yeah,
Yes,
also,
yeah. No, okay, enough.
That's so sweet of you, Saurabh. Yeah.
No, Kiram again. I think.
Okay, so on behalf of him, I would like to thank and undoubtedly
Thank you.
congratulate you for your success on your startup, and your wish you all the best for your startup journey, for your EventBeep, and yeah,
See,
thank you for giving your
happy
time.
happy to help all of you guys. Maybe reach out to me just in case you need anything. Connect with investors or startup ideas, framing your business model.
Yeah,
Anyone in your community, I think, as such, happy to
yeah,
help out.
for sure, for sure. Thank you so much, Saurabh, for giving your
Great.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you
guys.
for your
Bye.
presence. Thank you for coordinating so excellently with us. Thank you so much.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you, audience, for actively participating in this. And this is how our speaker, Saurabh Mangrulkar, interacted and speaked with us. Thank you so much. Are waiting for the next episode of Start-Up Paathshaala. Keep updated with it. Thank you.